I, 26, have been with my still girlfriend, 26, for almost 4 years. Last year I gave her a key to my house. She spends a few days there, but we don't live together full time. A few days ago, I had to make a quick trip for work. She asked me if she could invite a few of her friends to the house for a girls' night. It was on Thursday. I accepted. I returned yesterday in the morning. The first thing I noticed was that the rag doll missing from the wall. My first instinct was to call my girlfriend to ask if she had put it somewhere else. She denied it and said the doll was there. It wasn't. I checked the GPS of the doll. Yes, it has a GPS. The GPS marked the house of one of her friends. Let's call her Jess. I tried to be nice and told my GF to tell her friend to bring it back before 5 p.m. and I'll pretend this never happened or I'll involve the police. She tried to fight it, but I told her about the GPS. Well, my GF called me back saying that Jess denied having the doll. We had a huge argument and warned her that I wasn't playing about getting the police involved. I waited until 5 and went to the police. We went to her house and got the doll back. I pressed charges. My GF and I had a bigger argument about me pressing charges. They, including her, known the doll was made by my father. They could have stolen anything else and I wouldn't bat an eye. I gave her friend a chance and she tried to play stupid. They have been calling me an idiot and to drop the charges. Edit. The doll is with me. It's a rag doll, better said, it's a Raggedy Ann doll. My father had many hobbies. He tried making dolls and was planning to sell them, but the first one he made was a freaking Raggedy Ann doll. So it didn't last. He was too manly to sell Raggedy Ann dolls. Ridiculous, I know. He gave me that one. And actually, he made 4 more for my best friends. The doll was hanging in my room, but once he passed away, I hung it in the living room. It has excess eyes and looks creepy because it looks dead. It has GPS because my home was robbed 7 months ago. I don't care if they clean the house as far they leave the doll. I've more expensive items she could have stolen, so I don't know why she would steal the bloody doll other than a sick joke. My GF never complained about it, at least no to me. I haven't talked to her other than telling me to drop the charges. I will talk to her tomorrow to find out why she let her friend take the doll. They've been here before and never did anything like this. And about our relationship, because right now, I'm thinking in breaking up. Not the idiot. Jess could have saved herself from the hassle of police involvement by not stealing OR by just fessing up and returning the doll once caught. Your girlfriend could have saved Jess from the hassle of police involvement by telling Jess to cut the crap once she knew the doll had a tracker in it and was unequivocally being stored at Jess' place. You gave them every option to do the right thing. It's not your fault they chose poorly. Also, change your locks. Your girlfriend is obviously not trustworthy enough to have unmonitored access. Not the idiot. Jess had her chance to give you the doll back with no charges. She tried to lie and say she didn't have it. She stole it from your house and then lied. 100% continue with pressing the charges against her. Also, UGF is the idiot, as she should be angry at her friend for going into your house and stealing from you. If she can't understand that, I would be getting the key back and telling her that she isn't allowed there without you, and her friends definitely ain't allowed there, as you can't trust her to watch her friends and her friends to not take your property. You're thinking about breaking up. This girl lied straight to your face in order to help her friend steal something from you. Not just anything, but an object from your deceased father that held extreme sentimental value, which she knew about. And now she cares more about her friend not losing some money than about making this horrible act up to you. She's not a good person and she doesn't care about you. I 65 and my family have a cabin in cottage country, and nearby my son's ex's family has a place. My son dated his ex for about 6 years, but we barely knew the girl. She would never talk to us, kind of turned her nose up at us, I guess you could say, and my son was often unhappy. This girl also used to say things to him, in front of his mother and I, like he would be a bad dad because he plays games. Me and his mom and 2 sisters do too, for that matter. As a family we used to play LOL and WoW, MTG. Creatures, not in an obsessive way mind you. By her own admission it was about 2 hours a day, less than my daughters even. She also said we would be bad grandparents to him once because my wife and I are a bit on the heavier side. Overall, I won't lie, we were happy when he split from her. Still, of course, whenever we see her we are kind and cordial. She's just a kid. But yesterday we had a weird interaction and now I wonder if I was an idiot about it. My wife and the girl's mother are on an acquaintance basis and they are rarely up here as their place is owned by the mom's brother. Yesterday we were in town stocking up for the weekend and we ran into them. They got to talking and my wife mentioned our son and his wife had a little girl recently and we are grandparents now. There was the usual picture showing. The mom asked if they would be up with the baby this year and my wife said no because they had moved a few hours away and the little one is too small to travel, but they would be up next year. My son's ex chimed in and said, "Bet you wish I was your DIL so your grandkid would be closer." I couldn't help it but I laughed pretty loud and said no, I could have said a bunch more like how my DIL actually is our friend and gets to know us and puts in effort and treats my son well, makes him happy, etc. But I left it at the no. Afterward my wife thanked me because she said she didn't know what she was going to respond to that, but I guess the girl's mom did text my wife and made a comment that I was an idiot to the kid, 31, and made her really upset. My wife thinks I should apologize if I see her again to keep the peace, but I don't really want to. I think she kind of caused the whole thing with her weird comment. No. Not the idiot. X should be writing in asking if she's the idiot for her weird remark. How are you supposed to respond to that in a way that doesn't crap on your real DIL? Most diplomatic response would have been something like, "It's a shame they're so far away. Wish we could see son's name, Dill's name, and the baby more often." Hard to come up with the perfect response on the spot, especially when someone is saying awkward passive-aggressive crap. Not the idiot at all. First, she's not a kid. She's 31. She's been an adult for 13 years already. You just gave an honest answer to quite honestly an inappropriate question. She was out of line for saying that in the first place. What mature adult makes a comment like that which is really against your DIL? Like, what did she expect you to answer? Say yes to that. If you ask stupid, inappropriate questions, don't expect to like the answer. You did absolutely nothing wrong and I would not apologize to that immature kid. Not the idiot. Sounds like she was looking for validation over the fact that her ex has moved on and is happy. Some people can't take that, even if they're miserable people to be around. I don't judge you for laughing. It wasn't political, but it also wasn't exactly unreasonable given she was suggesting that your son having a miserable life closer to you was preferable to a happy one elsewhere. I, 21, am an affair baby. My dad cheated on his ex-wife with my mom. They were married for 10 and 2 years into the marriage my dad quit his job to start a business while his wife became the sole, majority breadwinner. Eventually, my dad's business became very successful and he was ranking out hundreds of thousands of dollars as personal profit. Around that time he became involved with my mom. My dad wanted to leave his wife for my mom but knew that his ex-wife could clean him out in a divorce. Since the money she earned was used to help fund his business ventures, she co-signed business loans, and even did occasional labor on her off time for the business. My mom didn't like my dad's reluctance to leave his ex and eventually broke off the relationship, not knowing that she was already pregnant with me. When she found out, the plan was always to give me up for adoption, so she felt the need to tell my dad, but on the day that I was actually born she changed her mind and decided to keep me. I was around 2 years old when my parents re-established contact, and by that time my dad had convinced his ex-wife to sign a post-nuptial agreement with an infidelity clause that would be heavily in the hurt party's favor if ever proven. Up until that time my mom kept saying that I was the result of a one-night stand, but when she and my dad decided to get back together, after my dad divorced his ex, she finally told him about my paternity and he wasn't happy and told my mom about the infidelity clause. They decided that it would be best to keep everything between themselves in the hopes that his ex wouldn't find out. I didn't even know for the majority of my life and just thought that my dad was my stepdad. Because I grew up not knowing who my bio dad wanted to do the ancestry testing and my mom and dad were vehemently against it. Knowing that I was still going to do it, they decided to tell me the truth and I got mad and did it anyway, thinking that they were lying. I ended up matching with several members of my dad's family and everything blew up. The ex-wife has now reached out to the through lawyers about petitioning the courts to renegotiate the terms of the divorce settlement, as I am living proof of infidelity. If the courts are granted the right to renegotiate, then my dad's ex may be able to take it all, if not the lion's share of it all, and a lot of people on my mom's side of the family lean on my dad and his finances for support. Am I the idiot? Edit. Because I'm seeing this, I wanted to clarify. 1. My dad didn't know about my existence at the time he and his ex signed the agreement. 2. At the time my mom was in a relationship with someone else, the son of a family friend, so they were both discreet, and it looks like I'm the only actual proof that there was any cheating. 3. So far only some cousins on my mom's side and her siblings are upset because up until now my dad was in a financial position to pay for everyone's college expenses all out of pocket. That has now been put on hold and they may end up having to take out loans. 4. While my dad is upset about possibly going back to court over this divorce, he's yet to direct any of his anger towards me. 5. Yes, my dad has children with his ex. I matched with one of them and they told their mom, so that's how she knows. And before you ask, I don't really have a relationship with them. They never really talk to my mom, but they treat both her and me with polite indifference. I don't see us becoming closer after this revelation though. You're the victim here, the one person who had nothing to do with creating a circumstance where revealing the truth, your existence, could cost your father money. You were lied to for most of your life, and now that there are tools to help you find the truth, it was natural for you to take advantage of them. Then the truth came out. Not the idiot. Not at all. They lied, they deceived, they cheated. Your parents are major idiots. Don't ever let them make you lie. Keep speaking the truth. It's not always easy, but your conscience is clean. So sorry you have to go through this. I know a girl with an identical start in life, but she never connected with her dad much as she grew up. She's an addict living on the streets. Secrets can destroy lives, so don't participate in the secrets. Don't let them drag you down to their level. Not the idiot. I'm sorry you're going through this due to your parents' horrendous decisions. However, I'm stoked for the ex-wife. I hope she gets all the money, and if that comes at the cost of some of the other family members not being able to go to college or your dad not having a cushy lifestyle anymore, then it's 100% the universe righting its wrongs, lol. Focus on yourself, kid, because your mom and dad are surely in for one hell of a ride and you do not need to be dragged down with them any more than you have been. I, 34, have been best friends with MIA, 34, and Louis, 35, since we were toddlers. MIA has been vegan for about 3 years now for ethical reasons. Louis has been a vegetarian for 1 year. Neither of them have been bothered by what I choose to eat or forced their ways and opinions onto me. About a week ago, I went into a takeaway joint to grab some lunch with Louis. We saw MIA in there with her own friend circle. She waved us over and asked us to join them. I hesitated at first because I know everyone at that table was vegan and I had a container of chicken stir-fry. Louis knew this and knew what I was thinking, so he told MIA it's probably not a good idea, hinting that I was having chicken for lunch. MIA being MIA told us don't be silly, it's fine, and that we should sit with them. So we sit down and I felt like I couldn't eat my lunch. MIA turned to me and said, just eat, don't worry. So I start eating, when one of Mia's friends asks, so is that meat? I rolled my eyes at MIA for telling me it was okay to eat at the table. I said yes, it's chicken, I'm sorry if it's a problem for you. Another one of Mia's friends overheard what was going on and said that they didn't feel comfortable with anyone eating meat at their Vago table. Usually I would have made a scene about this, but this is Mia's friend circle and I didn't want to embarrass her, so I stayed civil. So I said okay and moved tables towards the entrance of the place. Louis decided to come sit with me instead of them. 5 minutes later, MIA sent me a message telling me it's okay, she had spoken to them and that we should come back to their table. I refused, out of respect for everyone at that table and to save myself any further problems that might arise, but told Louis if he wants to join them it's not an issue, I don't mind taking my lunch home to eat. He was against the idea of going back to the table and me going home to eat just because the Vago table doesn't approve my lunch. We continued to enjoy our lunch for about another 20 to 30 minutes, when MIA and her Vago table decided to get up and leave. As they walked past us, we nodded to MIA and she just looked at us with disgust. We thought okay, whatever, MIA. Later on that night, MIA calls me saying I'm a petty idiot for refusing to sit at the table with them after she had persuaded them to not mind what I'm eating. I told her I appreciate that, but she really didn't have to, and that it would have just felt awkward for me to go back and sit there after I was pretty much told to leave their table. Again, she said I was being petty by doing that and for dragging Louis to another table with me, which I did not in any shape or form. He chose to follow me, and that I embarrassed her. I asked other friends if I was in the wrong for what I did, and the response was 50-50. I really don't feel like I was an idiot, but now I'm not so sure. Am I the idiot? This was super awkward for you, and vegans can be known militants about such things. Your friend should have made sure they were okay with you joining before inviting you and putting you in a weird situation. Now she's just being petty towards you. Also, these people need to realize they are not gonna get to go through life without being within staring distance of chicken. Not the idiot. You were not wrong. MIA is the one that mishandled the situation. It's okay that groups of friends eat at separate tables. She was busy entertaining her friends, but she made it difficult for you on insisting to come sit with them. Your concerns were correct when you noticed their tension with her sensitive friends about your food selection. You relented to sit with them after the insistence of MIA, but they weren't welcoming to you, so moved away to keep the peace. You were just being diplomatic. MIA, in the other day, needs some more growing up to do. Not the idiot. They asked you to leave. You respected that and did. You also kind of knew that the table wasn't gonna be okay with you eating there. So you got up and sat elsewhere. It's very understandable why you didn't want to be dragged back there. You felt uncomfortable. MIA should understand that. She should also know just because she isn't judgmental as a vegan, it doesn't mean others won't be, and her non-vegan friends may clash with her vegan friends, and it's completely understandable why you wouldn't want to stay where you didn't initially feel welcome.